Hello the internet! It is Saturday the 9th of January 2021 and welcome back to the channel. Thumbs down, thumbs up, thumbs down. Do they matter? Now, I've come across an interesting find on YouTube. I guess we could get oh geez, I didn't even check my freaking hair here. I guess we could get straight into it, being that I'm the only one in the freaking chit chat. Hello, Gives a Minute. Hello, the internet. That's me. Hey, by the way, that intro didn't quite roll exactly accurate timing-wise. I still got to work on that. I'm going to have to trim that actual piece down, I think. Oh, Chris Child in the chat. Hello, good sir. Hello, Chris. How you doing, man? Thanks for swinging by. I don't see you on my large screen chat, but I see you on the oh, there you are. There you go. Thank you, Chris. Thanks for swinging in, man. It's just you and me here. How about that? Let's have a bit of a chit chat. I did start the stream earlier than what I said I would. I'm here slightly earlier. I have to keep an eye on the ocean. The tide's on the way out and I want to get out and get some waves, so I came in a little earlier than I thought I would. I'm trying to mix things up on YouTube, trying to do things a little differently and just set a stream time and then not stick to it. Just try to change the back end maybe. Lorax, hello Lorax. Hello Gibbs, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Nice to see you, nice to have you, nice to know you. So, I want to ask your thoughts. Do you think thumbs up and thumbs down matter? Do you think this is the thing that YouTube... Well, hang on a second. I guess there's a couple of questions. Does it matter in the sense that a thumbs down pushes your video further in the ranks, like further down in the searches, and a thumbs up pushes your video up in the searches? Or do you think the concept of the thumbs up and thumbs down is simply a way for YouTube to get an understanding of whether your content is even being touched, period? Like, because the interaction is what they want. They want people on the platform. They don't care. They don't really care about what the experience of the person on the platform, and you know that because they bombard you with commercials. They don't care about your viewing experience. They just care that you're on there. So does that thumbs down or thumbs up make any difference? I don't really think it does, but I want to show you a search term and a video I found, which will kind of confuse you a little. Beat After Beat, thinking of thumbs up peeps. Thank you, Beat After Beat. Cheers, man. How you doing, buddy? Isn't this strange? Like, the first 3 people in the chit chat aren't regulars because I've come on at a different time. I like that, actually. Hey, by the way, did you guys see the IRL stream I did last night on DLive? Wow, wasn't that fun? And speaking of DLive, I've just put a little linky poo in the chit chat to my DLive channel if you want to go and have a look at the rerun. We had a great time on an IRL stream. Those kids, I don't want to blow it for you, but what did you think? What did you think? Did I do the right parenting? Did I do a good thing? There it is. Go scope my DLive channel. That's the link to it. It's just dlive.tv/givesaminute if you want to go and check it out. The IRL reruns up there for you. But yeah, I don't know what to say about that. It's not my children, and they were pretty rough around the edges, and I think they needed parenting, but their father was in prison. Their mother wasn't answering her phone. Although I will say this, I felt pretty safe letting them off or letting them go where I did, just because I know the area and like, yeah, it was street smart, right? I mean, of course they were. They were out late at night doing their fishing thing. Crikey, the chat is quiet. I'm not used to such a quiet chat. Usually DLive is like chit chat going down, and here it's just a ghost town. Either way, folks, let's go and have a look at this. So what I want to show you. David Pretty Bread in the house. Yo, David, how you doing, man? Cheers, buddy. Good to see you, man. Oh, crikey, my hair's falling out. Oh, shit. How you doing all the way in Ireland, man? Good morning. Good morning to you. Your timing IZTB? Beat After Beat? Your timing IZTB. I'm not sure what that means, man. Growing me odd. IZTB. Growing me odd. I don't know what that means, man. I do not know what that means. Your timing IZTB, growing me odd. I'm not too sure what that's in reference to. I would like to know. Now I'm worried about, is my sync out or something? Is my audio out of sync? Your timing IZTB. Chris Child, hey, I'm glad to say my notifications worked well today, so I was aware for once. I can't get how YouTube don't make their systems clear. You'd think either way it's interaction. Will we ever know? Good question. I don't think we ever will. But I'm glad to hear that your notifications worked for this stream, Chris. That makes me happy. That does make me happy. I don't understand why a subscribe to a channel doesn't equal all notifications. Why do you got to hit the bell as well? Isn't that what the subscribe? Anyway, that's not what we're talking about. But if you go over here, so this is YouTube, and I'm not signed in, right? This is just a blank. Hey, there I am though. Oh, crikey! Now that's weird. That is really weird. I'm not even signed in here, folks, and yet there's my stream. Look, I mean, look, it's right here, signed in, right? Sorry, sign in. So let's refresh this page. Let's refresh this page. So this is now the refresh of that page. I'm just curious as to see if my stream comes up. That's weird. That's weird. That's really weird. Okay, well, I don't know why that was in there. That's strange. I've never seen that before. But what I wanted to tell you or show you... Oh, throwing me off. Your timing is throwing me off. So me coming live early, yeah, cool. That's what I plan to do. Trying to mix things up. I want to do an IRL stream here, maybe tomorrow as well on YouTube. But how about this? I was specifically looking for a topic. Do you know HDMI 2.1 is coming? Do you know about HDMI 2.1? It's a new timing. It's not a new timing beat after beat. It's just me mixing things up. What I'm trying to do here on this channel, on YouTube, is to do things differently, because if you keep doing the same thing, I don't think YouTube favors you. I think YouTube pushes you down. If you mix it up a little and you start a live stream before you said you would, or you do a live stream on a different day, or you upload at a different time, or you upload real short form content, I think YouTube will favor that. I don't know. I don't have any backing for this. I'm just trying, right? Yeah, but this is not new timing. This is just because the surf's going to get better later, and I don't want to be sitting here while the surf's on fire. I want to be out there surfing, so I came in here. So I want to show you this. So I was interested in learning about HDMI 2.1. So I literally typed in the search HDMI space 2.1, and then I pressed enter or return. Now, what I found here was very interesting. If you... Ah, shit, it's changed. Oh my lord, it's literally changed. Oh no. Okay, well there it is. It's literally changed from when I did it last time. What I was going to show you, and I probably still can show you, was this video here. In the center of the screen, it says, "Don't buy HDMI 2.1 TVs, especially the LG CX." This is the television or the monitor which I'm looking at upgrading to some point down the line. It's going to be a long while down the line, but some point I was thinking about upgrading my monitor and desktop setup to one of these. Now, what I'm going to tell you is the time that I did this before this stream, like about half an hour ago, and the time that I did it last week, this video ended up top of the return. So it was literally the first thing you saw was that. So this, see this guy here? It was this video. Don't buy HDMI TVs. That was top of the search results. Now, why that's intriguing is if you check this video, and we're not going to play it.
Do not buy.
So we'll just pause it. If you check, interestingly, down here, it's got 2.1 thousand up versus 2.2 thousand downvotes. So 2.1 thousand people favorited this video, but more, only slightly more, but more unfavorited it, hated it, thumbs downed it. Okay, this isn't kind of making any sense because it's not up where it was, but it was top of the search results. That's why I came up with this. So what I'm trying to say is, if a video can get that many downvotes versus that many upvotes at quite kind of an even level, but the downvotes are outweighing the upvotes, wouldn't that tell you that? And even with this performing the way it has and coming up about the 6th video down the list, even that should tell you that downvotes and upvotes make absolutely no difference to where YouTube service your content. I mean, that's an example, right? That's a clear example of how that makes no difference. Now, just out of curiosity, if you go back, I wonder what the top one does have, because this is, like I said, this has changed. Let me see how this ranks.
One of the major benefits of the
Yo, keep it down. Okay, so this one's got 5.5 upvotes versus 210 downvotes. When did that go live? October 9, 2020. Let me just go back and see when this one went live. Don't buy HDMI TV.
Do not buy.
Pause that. This went live September 22. So September, October. So this one's a little later than that one, but still, I mean, very intriguing. I want to just have a quick look. If you go, keep scrolling down. This is confusing. This section here, people also watched. What's all that about? And what's this breakdown here? What's this 7+ more? What would that mean? Plus 7 more. So you got, so you're searching for a search term, HDMI 2.1. You type that in, you hit the return. It brings up the ones that it brings up. In this case, it brings up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 videos in the return search. And then there's a little gap where it says people also watched. And it brings up 1, 2, 3 more. And then there's a drop down for 5 more. But then there's a separate returns. I just don't understand why it's returning these kind of results. Like why doesn't searching for HDMI 2.1 bring up the videos related to HDMI 2.1? What is this gap? Hey Launton, bring him. Hey Launton, how you doing, man? Chris Child. By the way, I'm smashing the thumbs up. Thank you, Chris. Cheers, man. Thank you. And thank you, Lawton. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, please go ahead and smash the thumbs up here on this video, of course, because we know that the interaction is what's important. And if you like the content, don't forget to share it and subscribe to the channel as well. I'm just concerned. I'm just confused. It's also confusing that has changed in the short space of time that it took me to go live. I'm going to refresh the page and see if it changes again. Nah, it's still that guy at the top. It's interesting that this is a verified channel. Yeah, wow. So it's putting a verified channel's content above. Oh, wow, there it is. It's right there. You see? You see what happened in that small space of time that we've been sitting here? The search result has changed. Whereas this video is now second in the return. Second. Now let me just check the third one, see how many likes versus dislikes this has.
HDMI 2.
6.3 thousand upvotes versus 224 downvotes. So if you were this guy, if you were TV Finder EN, or if you were Briar Rabbit, or if you were Quantum TV, or the Tech Chap, or Greg Salzer, or Chris Majestic, or Tech Quickie, or Jonah Maths, or HDV TV, you would be really annoyed that this guy. It's Quantum TV. It's the same channel. Oh, dude, this gets even weirder. How many views is this? What? So this is the same channel.
4K at 120 hertz and.
So this video from the same channel has 2.4 thousand likes versus 584 dislikes. But if you go back in the searches, and this video from the same channel, how come this one was so
Not by HDMI.
How come this one is so unliked? 2.1k upvotes versus 2.2k downvotes. Launton, how long have you been done the Wave a Day series? Dude, I've been doing that, I guess, for nine different seasons now, so at least 9 months. There's heaps of that content on my channel if you want to check it out. But yeah, speaking of a Wave a Day, that project has come to a conclusion. I do have the final video here, which I want to show you a super quick Wave a Day edit.
It's too tight for steak.
Steak?
Cut of meat, 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 cut of meat,
cut of meat, cut of meat. Charlotte Rose, how you doing? Thank you for the cut of meat. Good morning. How you doing, Charlotte? Thank you so much for the super chat. How fun was that stream last night, Charlotte? You just came in. Did you watch all that stream last night, the IRL on DLive? I'm genuinely concerned about that. What was my role as a, let's just say, as a concerned adult, not a parent. I'm not a parent to anybody. I don't have children of my own that I know of. But at that point, when those kids were there, I thought they were with that family that caught the two Trevally. I thought that was their mother and father. But I even said, dude, that's a pretty shit father, because the kid's bad-mouthing everything and he's abusing and cussing. Remember I said that? Remember I said this kid's cussing like a mofo and his dad's doing nothing. Turns out it wasn't his dad. Those two kids weren't with that family. They were just, I guess they were just hanging there fishing in the same spot, and I just assumed that they were all family. And those kids were there alone, and their father's in prison for 5 years, and their mother wasn't answering a phone. So what's the duty of care I have there as an adult? Chris Child, you'd think if anything would trend best, it would be the videos people watch the longest. We've heard that before, Chris. When bad news hits, it's bound to get many thumbs down, yet still will trend. Everybody rub everyone, beat after beat, rub everyone? Okay. Man, that stream was crazy. I watched it all. Those kids fell through the crack and let down by the system. Yeah, right, yeah. Do you think it's more a problem of their parents or the system? Because, the parent still needs to, like, I don't know, I can't really speak on this because I've never had a parent in prison, but if your parent's in prison, you can't expect them to be doing the parenting thing, but then they've still got a mother, but she wasn't answering. Like, what mother wouldn't answer her phone? What time was it? 9:30 at that point? 9:15 in the PM on a Friday night? And your kid rings you and you don't answer? I mean, there could be any reason for that, right? She might have been raucously drunk, passed out, could have been injecting, whatever. We don't know, but either way, the kid rang on someone else's phone and she didn't answer. Anyone play RL here? I'm not sure what RL is, real life. I'm playing it right now. I think I'm failing though. Failing in RL. Those kids fell through the cracks and were let down by the system. I mean, it's sad, isn't it? Real sad. I thought the younger one, Jackson? No, Ty. Ty was the elder one. I thought Jackson, the younger one, had potential, but he has a brother who needs to show him the way, right? And the brother wasn't. The brother was a bit of a clown. I think the system knows the situation and would have to know they have a pretty crap mother and carer. They knew a lot of bad things for being so young. Yeah, it's true. They did. They knew. They were actually pretty street savvy, right? Although also a little confused. What did they say? They said something like, oh, I mean, they were obviously accusing me of being gay, and I was like, how would you know that? How could you possibly know that unless you've been spying on me? So have you been watching me, like, doing my thing? Have you been perving on me? And they're like, oh. I was like, well, how could you know if I was gay then? Unless you've been watching me. Something like that anyway. When you hit kids with like simple concept facts like that, they're like, oh. And then he said, he kept saying fucking poofter. And I was like, how do you know that guy's a poofter? How can you tell from the distance? Like, what can you see on that guy that you can't see on that guy? He's a fucking poofter. And that's obviously the father coming through at that point, right? RL is Rocket League. Rocket League. I don't play any games aside from Candy Crush while I'm on the crapper. They were saying dildo, poofter, condoms, and wanting to drink and fight. Yeah, all the adult things, right? All the adult things. And I was trying to tailor the questions to relevancy. Like, when he kept saying fighting, I was like, well, what do you watch? Boxing? Who are you favoring in the YouTube boxing? That's all fucking shit, fuck. I was like, so you're not interested. So where would they have seen boxing? They wanted to box each other. They wanted to box me. He wanted to box me. I'm still crazy as fuck. I'm beat, but okay. I'm a little tired here. Yeah, I was genuinely concerned about a number of things. in that situation, I was like, hang on, where does my duty of care lie here? Like, I mean, I don't have to walk them home, do I? I don't have to walk these kids to their door, because that would be weird, right? I'm live streaming, then I've shown the internet where these kids live to get them home safely. I was like, no, I can't do that. They're not walking to my door. I said, we're parting ways here, corner of park and whatever it was. I'm not like, the last thing I wanted was them to come back to me, to here, or for me to go there. I think the connection was, they were fishing. They were curious about the live stream. By the way, I should have washed my phone too. I didn't do that. I sterilized it because they had fishing bait everywhere. Mother Teresa couldn't help those kids. So they're a lost. Are they a lost cause then, Sharla? Shit, that's sad. They're a lost cause. I mean, I tend to agree with you, but I just feel like, is there something that people could do, like something that I could have done last night to sort of, you know, give these kids a bit of a shot at something, just a small chance at something better. And maybe a live stream, you know. I was asking them, do you guys live stream? Do you watch anyone? Who do you watch? Who are you interested in? They didn't really have an answer for that. They were, I mean, I guess they didn't have phones. By the way, how about that guy parking the boat, fanging the boat up the trailer? It's like, this is going to end badly, and I'm going to get it live to the internet. This guy, it didn't look, so there was a boat that parked before him, and that dude did it. And that boat was way bigger, right? The Latin music boat. That boat parked on their trailer almost like textbook. I mean, I guess I've never parked a boat onto a trailer, but they did it super easily and super, like, eloquently. And then old mate with his son came to try to do it. Got his boat all jackknifed up in the corner of the jetty and the thing, and then he had to back it out, and he took a running leap at it, and then he didn't make it. It fell back down. He had to come back. And I was like, I kind of wanted to see an accident, but then I kind of didn't, because it's, you know, you don't want to wish the worst on anybody, but damn, it would have been funny on the stream to see that boat mess up. Have a beat-crushing weekend ahead, everyone. Thanks, Beat After Beat. Cheers, man. I'm sure I will. How will you go? How will your weekend be? Only if you could change their home life and what is embedded in their minds from the past trauma, then no, nothing you could do last night. Fair enough. So you think that it's too inbred, it's too ingrained in them. I mean, yeah. It saddens me, right? It saddens me. I've got to blow my nose here, but I tell you what, speaking of a wave a day, we have come to the conclusion. Lawton, you asked me earlier about a wave a day. This is the last wave a day from this season. I'm going to blow my nose. Enjoy the waves.
Welcome back to the super quick wave a day, and it's wop 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 wop. A wave a day, summer 2020 comes to a conclusion. Today was the last day, and well, I think I did okay. I think I did pretty good. I think I did okay. I feel like I surfed pretty well. Conditions were good. A lot of crew out for Christmas. I just spat on you. Hello. Yeah, I think it was a good fun time. But I'm gonna get sentimental here. Well, if you like the content here, if you like the Wave a Day project, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Don't forget to follow my DLive channel. Don't forget to share. That's the thing. You gotta share this shizzle. Share this out with as many people as possible. Share the linky poo. Share this shizzle. Get it out there. Get it out there. That'll be rad. I'd like my content to reach more people. That will be handy. Because I'm getting better with surfing. And am I not? Am I not getting better with surfing? Speaking of surfing, Benny Crawford Designs, the toothpick, this guy here. Oh shit, yeah. This board, what a machine. Benny, thank you again for the surfboard, dude. You did a great job. I unfortunately dinged it twice this season. There's a ding here on the back. There's also a ding here, sort of midway up. But it hasn't hindered my surfing. In fact, this machine has made me surf much better than I ever could have. So Benny Crawford Designs, thank you so much for the kind, generous and also for the craftsmanship, your skill making this board. This is a handmade Gibbs a minute. We call it the toothpick. Well, it's not actually called the toothpick, but we call it the toothpick. First time I duck dived on it, first time I rode it, I duck dived under a wave, and I came up saying, wow man, it's like pushing a toothpick through spaghetti sauce. That's the first thing that came to my mind about this board. I don't know why. I've never pushed a toothpick through spaghetti sauce. I don't even call it spaghetti sauce, I call it pasta sauce. I don't even use toothpicks. But this is the toothpick. Benny, thank you so much. Thank you to Bell Surf Wax for the wax. I did wax up again this morning after yesterday's slip and slide, and no problems at all. Bell Surf Wax, thank you so much for the wax. Arzen Wetsuits. Ah, yeah, Arzen, thank you so much for the wetsuits. Arguably, you don't really need one here in the summer, but I've worn it all year. You know, I've got a rashi underneath it, so it's actually a short sleever. You might not have been able to tell that, it's a short sleever. But yeah, this is, you know, you get the chafing in the legs and shit if you don't. You surf every day for like an hour, you're gonna get chafed. So I've been wearing it for that sake. Thank you all for you yahoos who've watched the content, I appreciate you. Now, before I show you my clip from today, I wanna ask you, do you think I've surfed progressively better throughout the month, or have I stagnated? What do you think? I know what I think, but how about you be the judge? Tuesday, take a look at the vibe here on a Tuesday, holiday season. Heaps of crew around, nice waves, beautiful weather. It's all coming together. Pick the better spot for the takeoff. Should be left here, but I'm going right, and then I'm looking to think about it more. That was better, but the wave just kind of died out on me, but that was a better ride. Got on the side of the bank here for the left. Translation, what do you think? How have I done throughout this month and today? How do you think I've done? Have I made a steady progression in my surfing abilities to get a little better? What? Do you know, arguably, I'd like to be out there right now surfing some more, but I'm not going to, because I probably will surf tomorrow. If conditions are good, I'll surf again. The Wave a Day project is completed, but I will surf whenever I feel, whenever the conditions are good. Oh, yeah. Yeah, whenever conditions are good, I'll get back out there. So there may be sporadic, super quick Wave a Day edits on DLive coming forward from here on in, but I'll let you know when that happens. And so look, while I remain seated and think about what's going to happen, you guys can go back to the live stream.
So I would happily put those together. Yeah, no. I mean, if you could bring them, not by, you can't? Oh, but I'm definitely by Tuesday. Yeah, if you brought them, I could certainly do it by Tuesday, but only if, how many? I mean, yeah, I could try. So you got 3 of the black ones and 2. Oh, they're purple. Oh, dude, I haven't done the purple ones. No. I can do the black. Yeah, the black ones I can definitely do. Huh? No. It's beautiful out there, but I'm live streaming. I'm gonna be wrapping up soon. But they're watching a surfing. Oh shit, dude, it's finished, man. I gotta go. Yeah. They. This is live now. I gotta go back to the stream. Right. Okay. Cool. All right. Just one sec. Yep. 2 on Tuesday. The black ones, not the purple ones. Okay. Cool. All right. See ya. Fair income. Not only calling me during a DLive stream, but also a YouTube stream. Shit. Folks, conditions out there. I just went and had a look. It is perfect. It's only going to get better as well. The tide's on the way out. There's about 1,300,000 surfers out there. It's looking so clear. The sky's blue. There's hardly any wind. It's perfect. So I want to get out there and surf. Pernsky, how you doing, man? How you doing? I thought you were starting now. I was just saying earlier, we're changing things up here. I'm sometimes putting up live streams set to go at a certain time and then going live at a different time. I'm trying to confuse YouTube. Maybe I'll put up a thumbnail for a video that'll say it's going to be live on Tuesday and I'll go live on the Friday, for instance. Maybe I won't even put up a thumbnail. Maybe I'll just go live sometimes. I'm trying to mix things up and see what happens, because the worst thing that we can do is get stagnant. But there is news. Greater Brisbane in lockdown. COVID-19. Lockdown begins in Brisbane. I really want to find out what's going on in Brisbane town.
Good evening. Just seconds ago, Greater Brisbane entered 3 days of strict lockdown. Residents have been asked to stay at home and masks are now mandatory if venturing outside for essential purposes only. Health authorities are racing to contain a dangerous strain of coronavirus in Brisbane after escaping hotel quarantine.
Lines in Brisbane like we've never seen before. Across the suburbs, it took hours just to get inside some supermarkets. And once there wasn't a lot left.
How's that frame rate?
People stocked up ahead of a 3-day lockdown.
We need to act really, really fast.
The lockdown extends across Greater Brisbane. That includes the Brisbane, Logan, Ipswich, Moreton and Redlands council areas. The shutdown will last until 6 p.m. Monday, for now.
All residents living in those...
Wandering Toaster, hello Toaster, how you doing, man? We're just watching a little bit of the Brisbane lockdown here. Pretty heavy for a 3-day lockdown to contain a dangerous spread of the virus.
Those areas.
A dangerous strain of the virus, not a spread. James in Germany, hey, cool, catching a Gibbs live stream on the night instead of the morning. How you doing, James? Thanks for being in the chat last night too on the IRL there. That was a fun IRL. We talked about that as well. If you guys didn't see my IRL on DLive last night, very interesting. I guess the last hour or hour and a half was very intriguing. I won't blow it for you, but I will put in the chit chat how you can get to my DLive channel. It's in the chit chat right now, and we're going to continue watching this news update on Brisbane.
Will be required to stay at home.
People can go outside if they're essential workers, providing healthcare or support for a vulnerable person, for exercise and for essential shopping. Masks are now compulsory for anyone leaving home, except children under 12.
Chris, only 3 days? How will that help? I had that same question. I wasn't sure how a 3-day lockdown would help, but it was explained to me that the 3-day lockdown will help in the sense that it will enable the tracking to commence and complete without further movement. So if you're trying to track something, it's definitely easier to track anything, not just a virus, but a lost phone, a set of thongs you left, a set of sandals you left at the beach, a skateboard you left at the skate park. It's way easier to track that if it's not moving, if it's stationary. So the idea is to keep everyone still while they track this thing down. They need 3 days to do that. That's how I understand it. Because I know that it's not going to stop the virus, but it will enable the tracing of the virus. I absolutely don't understand the 3-day thing. Yeah, probably that's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is. It's to trace it back to where it originated and then contain it at that point. That's what they're doing. I think. I'm no expert here.
We are going to go hard and we are going to go early.
Funerals are limited to 20 guests and weddings to 10. Non-essential services like hairdressers, nail salons, cinemas and gyms will be closed.
These are tough, strong measures. If we do not do this now, it could end up being a 30-day lockdown.
I saw earlier London Ambulance Service is dealing with call-outs a day. Shit. She just said this might extend to 30 days though. That kind of puts that tracing thing out, doesn't it? That now becomes a lockdown.
Cafes and restaurants will be open for takeaway only.
We've been through the exact same thing before. Obviously, a little bit different this time, but we've done it once. I'm sure that we can do it again.
You can only have 2 guests in your own home.
But they have to come for like a good reason.
13,000 tests were conducted in the past 24 hours. There were 9 positive cases in hotel quarantine, which is where this latest outbreak...
Perdbeer says go hard doesn't mean allowing weddings. Fair point. Fair point. Fair point.
Began after a cleaner at the Grand Chancellor tested positive to a dangerous strain of COVID circulating in the UK. It is 70% more contagious, and she was active in the community for 4 days while infectious.
Until we've found all those people, we can't relax.
This woman looks like an old rock and roll star from the 60s, like a guitarist who went out on tour too often. A male guitarist.
Once it's spread, it would be too late to act.
Aged care homes, disability accommodation, prisons and hospitals have shut their doors to visitors.
It is critical because I believe if we can get on top of this today, we will be able to manage it and we will not need to go back through that lockdown period that we had to go through in March and April.
This lockdown won't just impact Brisbane. Any Queenslanders who have visited the Greater Brisbane area since the 2nd of January are asked to isolate at home and get tested if showing symptoms. This weekend, police will be conducting patrols and random intercepts to ensure compliance. Fines of up to $1,300 can apply.
You will be checked if you're out and about to see whether you should be out and about doing what you're doing.
In a bid to avoid a 30-day lockdown.
Wow.
Well, tonight there's an eerie feeling down here at Howard Smith Wharves as these new changes come into effect right on...
What is she holding, folks? What is that in her hand? Is that a microphone? That's a very unique microphone. They should be quarantining international arrivals beyond Christmas Island. Absolute incompetence. I completely agree, Perdbeer. I completely agree. Any incoming flight to this country shouldn't be allowed, or if it is allowed to land, it should be quarantined immediately. Instead, what we're seeing is new strains of the virus turning up. Where did they come from? Originally by plane. Yeah, I completely agree. Why should people? The people are saying, why should we suffer? Why should the communities and businesses suffer because some fuckwit came in on a plane and brought the new strain over? Stop the planes. Makes sense, right? You see any movie with like infectious diseases, they have an airlock, quarantine. It's called when you're coming into a space, you quarantine until you're clear. They don't have that here. Got everything else except that. And all the businesses are going out of business because they're not stopping the incoming passengers. It's crazy. By the way, that's a very shitty aspect of Brisbane. Brisbane's a lot prettier than that. That just looks awful right there. Maybe it's just the color of the sky as well, but that's not a very good looking bridge. The angle they've got it. Yeah. As far as bridges go, that's a pretty standard looking. I'm not slagging Brisbane. I'm just saying that could have been shot better. And that microphone, what the hell?
6 o'clock, businesses shut up shop, not just here, but right across Greater Brisbane. Cafes and restaurants can now only offer takeaway food and drink as Brisbane gets used to a new normal for the next 3 days at least.
Thanks, Izzy. Now to Rosie
Izzy,
Kingston.
what a cool name.
And Rosie, it has been bedlam in shopping centres today.
Katrina, there was almost an immediate rush to the supermarket.
She's got one of those microphones as well. What is it? Is she switching? Are they doing their own switching?
Today, and by this afternoon, Coles and Woolworths had reintroduced purchase limits for staple items. The rush coming despite the fact the shops will remain open for essentials.
Do you reckon? And sorry, I'm not downplaying the situation here, but do you reckon that this is a result of COVID? This is a woman, a news reporter, possibly. I don't know. Possibly, it looks like she's holding a switching device. She's got a microphone, lapel mic on her sleeve. She's got something in her hand, which possibly would tell me she's also the camera operator and the live switcher. So she's switching between cameras. Maybe they've got rid of someone else on location, so they're a one-person operation. She sets up her camera and her lights, and then activates everything. Either that, or they both got the same purse, coincidentally, because that's a strange thing for her to be holding, right?
During the lockdown.
We were told to avoid it.
There is no need to go and buy up big. If you've got enough at home for the next 3 days, just stay home.
But
see, that point there's no need to buy up big. If you've got enough at home for the next 3 days, stay home. But she also said earlier, this may extend for 30 days. So you can't tell one thing and then tell the other thing. If this extends for 30 days, that makes it 33 days. So therefore, if you have enough at home for 3 days, you won't have enough for 33 days. So buy up and stock up. Be smart. On the one hand, they say, prepare yourselves and get ready for this. On the other hand, they say, don't stock up. Well, that's not preparing yourself. If you know you're going to be locked down for possibly 33 days, get enough food for 33 days. That's called being smart. Don't stock up. Very strange.
within half an hour of the lockdown announcement, it began.
Card registers here, folks. You're paying by card. It's mad.
They had no masks on. I thought masks were mandatory. I've seen some reporters doing live crosses in Berlin alone, no cameraman or sound. They do it all by them. So it's all a one-man show now, or one-person show. Both of these shots that we just saw, I see no mask here.
The lockdown
She's not wearing a mask. No mask here.
announcement.
No mask here. I thought masks were compulsory.
It began.
No mask, no mask. No mask, no mask, no mask. I thought masks were compulsory.
Here, folks. You're paying by card. It's mad at the moment.
There's queues ages.
I bought toilet paper, but I needed toilet paper.
Queues of cars lined up around supermarkets across Brisbane's suburbs. Lines of customers
I'm reconstructing my
outdoors
YouTube page.
and wrapping around buildings.
Good luck with that,
Inside,
beat after beat.
shops were packed, trolley bays were empty, and in some places, so too were shelves.
I'll grab some milk and a loaf of bread and head home.
Arana Hill's one of the busiest.
What the fuck was that for? Why was that in there?
I'll grab some milk and a loaf of bread and head home.
Well, nice to know, old mate. You're going to get the milk and bread, and then you're going to head home. Cool. that's relevance to nothing.
So too were shelves.
I'll grab some milk and a loaf of bread and head home.
Arana Hill's one of the busiest. By 9 a.m, the butcher had done his entire day's trade.
Everyone's just come in panic buying, obviously, and we can't fill anything up. We haven't got time to prepare anything. We've just been caught completely off guard.
Toowong Village was chaos, hundreds trying to get in and out. In Eaton's Hill, getting to the counter took just as long as...
This isn't news, right? This is not news. This is the reaction to the announcement that the governments make. You're going to be at home for 3 days, possibly 33 days. Well, what else? What would you do? Go and supply up? Of course you would. You'd be stupid not to. What would be the other story, right? you're all going to be locked down for 3 days, possibly 33 days, and no one goes out anywhere and gets any supplies, and suddenly you get phone calls. I've got a family of 6 here at home. We've been locked down for the last 6 days. We have absolutely no food. You hear that? That's my baby crying. I don't even have enough formula. Can someone come to my house and bring supplies? Sorry, ma'am, we're under lockdown. You should have got your supplies before the lockdown. Well, I didn't want to panic buy, did I? This is stupid. This is stupid. This isn't even a story, right? This should just be, hey, we're going into lockdown. Look at all these smart people getting their supplies in order. These people are being prepared. Instead, they paint this like it's negative. That bread and milk should last 33 days easily, Chris. Right. The virus will be like, it's only 5:45. We can't infect anyone yet. Breaking news. I bought milk, bread, and Dub Jack. Shut up.
Getting inside the store. It was the same at 8 Mile Plains, Brookside, Fairfield and New Farm. Underwood had to shut the doors. On the Gold Coast, away from the lockdown, shops were still packed. Costco Ipswich, people lined up, then gave up.
We thought, no, we're not queuing up for an hour and a half just to get in.
Others waited patiently and bought what they needed. In Logan, it was orderly, large numbers moving through the store relatively quickly.
Like everyone, supermarkets were taken by surprise this morning, forced to work quickly to keep control of crowds and boost supplies.
We've implemented our product restrictions in several categories, paper goods and toilet paper, and then tomorrow customers will see that in some other categories like meat and those other key areas. We do have ample supply and we are working at pace to be able to replenish our stores.
Maybe instead of putting restrictions on toilet paper, maybe there should be restrictions on the amount of food you can buy. If you don't put so much food in, you don't put so much food out, right? What goes in must come out. So if you don't want to be shitting as much because you don't want to have as much toilet paper usage, then don't embed so much in your gut. They need to interview the ice addicts. Perd beer, I heard in Germany and in America, they left the liquor stores open as an essential service because too many alcoholics couldn't go cold turkey and quit. Is that a fact? I heard that. I heard that on a news report that they didn't give any restrictions to alcohol outlets in the States or in Germany because there are too many addicts that just simply couldn't go without it. You can't expect an entire city of alcoholics to just stop cold turkey. That would be flooding the actually, it was Joe Rogan that said it. That will start flooding the hospital beds, and they just can't cope. The hospitals can't cope with that many new incoming patients. So they left the liquor things alone. Is that correct? It sounds pretty strange.
Today, few were wearing masks. As of 6 p.m, they became mandatory.
Right, masks
Brisbane,
6 p.m.
Moreton Bay, Ipswich, Redlands and Logan.
So masks were mandatory from 6. As Charla said, the virus doesn't know that, or the virus does know that. It's going to get out there at 5:59 and be like, 1 more minute till we can go and infect people. Yay! All booze places are still open for you, Perd beer. So I mean, that would stand that correct, right? Wow.
The evidence seems to suggest that the surgical masks, the medical ones, are much more effective.
Only on New Year's Eve they forbid alcohol after 2 p.m. Yes, I do recall that.
Masks are.
They must be worn at all times outside of your home, including workplaces and public transport. Some stores were sold out today, but suppliers assure there is plenty more to come. New stock arriving within hours.
Grocery stores sell beer and liquor here. They stay open. The only stores open right now. Right. So that, I mean, I guess that's a bit of both, right? So you got your groceries and your liquor. Yeah, fair enough.
The warehouses are bringing them over now so we can dispatch them straight away, but we have orders coming in like crazy.
Anyone who misses out should check back.
Even better, just stay at home and you won't need a mask.
Rosanna Kingson, 7 News.
I'm live.
I'm going down, don't lock up, I'm going out.
Drinking alcohol is forbidden in public, and I think no alcohol sales after 23... Hang on, Perd beer. In Germany, drinking alcohol is forbidden in public. So alcohol is forbidden, but that doesn't make any sense. There's so much homeless people drinking alcohol. And no alcohol sales after 2030, 23. So there's a gap. So there's a gap when they keep changing it, right? Yeah, there you go. Grocery stores sell beer, and yeah, Yeah, and that, I guess that's the thing, right? When things change like they do, when things keep changing, it becomes very, very confusing. And if you're an addict, if you're an alcoholic, how do you sit there? How does it sit? What happens? If you're an addict, right? You don't obey the corona rules. Surely not.
Announced at testing clinics across hotspot suburbs today.
Katrina, staff really have done an incredible job clearing those long lines. They've been working around the clock and will continue. They've tested almost 1,000 people at this 8 Mile Plains.
This guy hasn't got the funky funky switcher thing. I don't know what they do in their home with the homeless, but I think it's an offense to drink in the street. Wow. I mean, most homeless crew are addicted to something, but alcohol's not permissible. Wow.
Facility alone, and while those turning up to get tested tonight don't have to wait too long, they will. It was a different story earlier today. As news was breaking, queues were building outside 8 Mile Plains Community Health Centre this morning.
It's good to see that the public are heeding that advice and coming out and doing the right thing.
Hand sanitizer and masks a must as hundreds filtered through the 24-hour COVID clinic.
I woke up this morning not feeling great, but I was up at the Sunnybank Hills the other day.
450 people were tested.
I don't know what Berlin rules and what national rules. So there's slightly different rules for right. Yeah.
By contact tracers. Some were sick, most were just being cautious.
Oh, just at Algesta yesterday, that's all.
Common sense that sparked similar scenes across Brisbane's south side. Locals lining up, undeterred by a drizzle, their suburbs now hotspots.
I just want to be safe.
More than 100 clinics in the region, public and private, will remain open this weekend. After the cleaner caught trains between Algesta and the city and shopped in Sunnybank Hills and Callumvale.
So this is one person who's been positive from this Brisbane area, and these are all the places they went. So therefore the entire city loses 3 days worth of productivity. Problem with all the kneipers closed, people were loitering together and drinking. I mean, yeah, fair enough. Kneiper being a pub, right? A bar.
While infectious.
Anyone who's been to any of those sites needs to immediately come forward and get tested.
With traces of the virus now detected at 4 more wastewater sites in South Brisbane, Harvey Bay, Maryborough and Townsville.
Wow, they found it in the waste there. I think it's a state thing that Berlin has. People still drinking on public transportation in Rheinland-Pfalz and Baden-Württemberg. So I remember drinking on the trains in Berlin with no problem. I mean, unless that's changed as well. In fact, we were sitting on the platform buying beers, drinking them. It was warmer in the underground than it was up on the streets because it was winter.
Number of fever clinics around in the area and across the state. They should choose their closest one.
And that's just what Bob and Rosalind Devro did.
Just to be sure, and if anything did happen, at least we've done the right thing.
It's the second time residents in this community have been caught up in a COVID scare. Sunnybank Hills now in the spotlight, almost 6 months after 2 infected women returned from Melbourne and dined in nearby Sunnybank.
Makes you pretty cautious about getting out and about for sure.
We're more likely to misbehave, so it's probably for the best.
And plenty of others stocking up
changing
on
lifestyle
essentials at
though.
their local Coles, the same supermarket where the positive case shopped on Tuesday.
It's been cleaned. I've got a friend that works in Coles. She's in there today. The people that were there that day are in quarantine, so it's safe.
Mac Lyon, 7 News.
Greater Brisbane has been officially declared a hotspot by the Commonwealth, sparking immediate travel bans.
New South Wales is allowing travellers from Greater Brisbane, but they must isolate until Monday night. Victoria is advising people in Greater Brisbane to stay put until Monday. That could change. Tasmania and the ACT have banned Brisbane arrivals altogether. Anyone flying to South Australia from midnight must self-isolate for 2 weeks and undergo regular COVID tests. Western Australia will slam its borders shut to the whole of Queensland from midnight. The Northern Territory insists on hotel quarantine for Brisbane travellers.
Well, today's lockdown announcement has thrown holiday plans into chaos.
It's only during Corona, but alcohol is forbidden on the U-Bahn and bus, but allowed on the S-Bahn and trains. So longer form journeys is okay. Yeah, right.
On the Gold and Sunshine Coasts, many Brisbane visitors packed up and headed home, but others raced the clock, seemingly ignoring the isolation rules for a weekend away from lockdown.
It wasn't just the rain that kept tourists away. As news spread in Cavill Mall,
That was a shock.
visitors fled.
Definitely not a good feeling, but we have to do it for the safety reason, you know.
The Coopers chose to stay to spend the next 72 hours in their hotel room.
We've got a Nintendo Switch, we've got TV, we've got games to play.
The impact on the tourist city was...
Straight away we got cancellations. Again, the uncertainty.
But despite the isolation rules, Brisbane residents were on the move. The Bruce Highway was heavy with traffic both ways all afternoon. On the M1, southbound traffic was busy, some in a race to arrive to hotels before 6.
People trying to escape the lockdown booked them up real quick. I'm not the police, I can't enforce those.
But police will and warn they'll be stopping cars on major roads into the Gold Coast. Anyone from Greater Brisbane will be turned away.
Do you really want to be that person who potentially spreads COVID-19 across Queensland?
The snap lockdown comes on the eve of the Magic Millions Carnival, one of the biggest events on the Gold Coast calendar.
Brisbane people are very important to us, but they're a small percentage in the big picture.
Elsewhere in the state, those who arrived by plane from Brisbane
So basically, that guy doesn't care.
touched down to some big news.
You've got to isolate for 3 days now?
We do.
Well, we were to come home Saturday.
That dude. Who? We do? No. All the other passengers getting off the plane, but you're okay.
By plane from Brisbane touched down to some big news.
You've got to isolate for 3 days now?
We do.
Well, we were to come home Saturday, but we cut our trip short before we even heard, so we're lucky we did.
A long weekend in lockdown, at least some are prepared.
It's better than the alternative, which is we end up like Melbourne.
Look how much bog roll those guys have got. Why is everyone so concerned about toilet paper? We talked about this on my IRL stream last night. What? Of all the things, everybody's going nuts for bog roll. Use your hand if you have to. Take a shower if you have to afterwards. It's not the be all and end all. You can live without toilet paper. I've been stopped a few times for drinking on the U-Bahn. You just have to respectful conversation. They let you go on your way. If you're a cunt, they get out the tactical gloves and bear spray. Shit.
On the Gold Coast, Amanda Abate, 7 News.
Now let's go live to the Premier. Good evening, Premier. I guess the question everybody is wondering, how likely do you think this Brisbane lockdown will extend beyond 3 days?
Well, Katrina, I don't have a magical crystal ball, but I do hope that the 3 days is sufficient for what we need to do. So our hope is that we will contain this virus, that anyone who has developed any symptoms will go and get tested as quickly as possible, and we'll be able to contain it by everyone staying at home in that Greater Brisbane region for the next 3 days.
Now, as we've seen earlier in the bulletin, there has been a bit of an exodus of people out of Brisbane today. Is that a worry?
Absolutely.
We're not worried by that at the moment, but we do.
I'd pause that for effect. Of course that's a worry. If you're exiting Brisbane because there's a 3-day lockdown coming at midnight, the eve of this broadcast, which was last night, I think, and they're exiting Brisbane en masse to avoid the lockdown, of course that's a problem. What I don't get this I don't get this. I don't get it. It's like, we know we got to contain this. We got to work out how we can test everybody. We're bringing in a lockdown. It's going to start here. Oh, it's going to start there. Then, but between then and now, everyone just mass exodus leaves the cities. No, we're not worried about that. It's like almost like out of sight, out of mind at that point, right? Yeah, we're not worried. They're going to go into state. They're cool. Let the other states deal with it. This is the problem that I'm seeing. It's certainly in Australia. We're the Commonwealth of Australia, right? We're supposed to be united. We're supposed to be one country under the sun. Yet every state and territory is doing their own thing, and they're almost saying, well, fuck it. We don't care. We tried the best we could. She clearly just said, we're not worried about that. Let's hear it again.
Earlier in the bulletin, there has been a bit of an exodus of people out of Brisbane today. Is that a worry?
We're not worried by that at the moment, but we do say to people, if you have gone to the Sunshine Coast or the Gold Coast, that you actually stay in your accommodation until Monday.
But they don't have to. You don't have to stay in your accommodation until Monday. That's why people are leaving. They're getting away from the 3-day lockdown, potentially. People this is probably what they're saying. They're saying, did you guys know there's a 3-day lockdown coming? And it could be longer. It could be 33. It could go on for months. We can get out now if we can. If we got somewhere to go, we can get out. Let's get out now. Bang, they're gone. They could be the ones carrying it. And then all of a sudden you'll see strange strain of coronavirus originally found in Brisbane turns up in Canberra, turns up in New South Wales, wherever it is, because the people left and they're not worried about it. Wow, so strange.
But for everybody else in the Greater Brisbane region, look at it as a long weekend at home, stay in your home and only go out for those 4 essential reasons.
Or go now if you can. Baffling, right? Baffling.
Premier Anastasia Palaszczuk, thank you for joining us.
Thanks, Katrina.
Well, international passenger caps will be halved and Australians hoping to return home from overseas will now have to return a negative pre-flight COVID test before they can travel. The new measures designed...
Now, here's the thing with this. A test before you fly doesn't show up a result for a few days. So you're gonna jack an extra 3 days onto someone's travel time and then lockdown as well. 1 year of touring as a musician takes 4 years off your life. Does that include the photographer? Presumably they're going to go at holiday homes, most likely per beer, or family interstate or something.
And to stop more cases of the deadly new strain of the virus arriving here.
For Australians stranded abroad, getting home has never been tougher.
We feel that people have turned their backs on us.
But with a highly contagious strain of the virus ravaging England, the process is about to get even more difficult.
It's a dangerous world out there. What is our major risk? Our major risk is people coming from overseas.
No
While
shit.
The mutant variant is already here, leaking out of hotel quarantine in Brisbane. Authorities are desperate to stop any more infected people arriving on our shores, introducing strict new protocols. All international passengers returning to Australia will now have to provide a negative pre-flight COVID test.
80% of Australians registered overseas are now in countries where that new strain is evident.
An emergency meeting of National Cabinet today also endorsing making masks mandatory on domestic and international flights and at all airports.
Is that just starting? Mandatory masks on all flights? Surely that should have been a thing ages ago. Holy shit.
Temporarily halving international passenger caps in New South Wales, WA and Queensland, and testing all hotel quarantine workers daily.
So you can still fly into the country, it's just half capacity. Because the virus knows about numbers, right?
None of the new measures are foolproof, but they...
Bing! None of the new measures are foolproof. You said it, Rob Scott.
Do add extra layers of protection. And for those hoping to get home, they're better than the alternative.
ScoMo is
Closing
useless.
Off the borders completely.
That would be a very significant step, but it would mean not just one country, it'd mean the whole world.
No argument.
So basically he's saying we're not going to shut the borders, the international borders, unless the rest of the planet does. So we got a global pandemic. It's affecting every part of this planet in different layers, let's say. And he just said locking down international borders would be a big step, but it would have to be a global step. So if they don't do it, we're not doing it, essentially.
It's from those longing to be reunited with their families. But there are questions about what would happen to those turned away at the airport.
If people have quit their jobs and then had their flights cancelled, then maybe there can be some kind of financial support.
The government says there already is. More than $15 million so far paid out to Aussies trapped overseas.
$15 million, you're going to have to double that to equal the pound, though. To double it out a bit. By the way, I wonder how long it takes until we find out COVID also travels through the air in clouds. Could you imagine if it was airborne up in the sky in the clouds, and therefore it could come across from New Zealand to the mainland of Australia very easily. I'm sure some scientists will be like, we found trace particles of COVID-19 in high-density rain clouds, and so therefore we're trying to send up our own fleet of jets to move the clouds back across the news. I don't know. It sounds stupid, right? It sounds stupid, but I mean, here we are. Raindrops containing COVID. You heard it right here on the Gives a Minute YouTube stream first.
Rob Scott, 7 News.
Greater Brisbane's sudden lockdown has thrown weddings into chaos, leaving brides and grooms with little time to make big decisions. Several celebrations were cancelled or postponed, but for some, calling off their special day was never an option.
A family home turned wedding venue to ensure Michelle and Zach could finally become Mr. and Mrs. Woods.
I think I'll turn up at the embassy and ask for some coin per view. You've been missing too long, dude. You're 20 years down, man. We got no ties to you anymore, man. The only tie you have to Australia is that you speak English. Sorry, dude.
They were meant
Hard
to
facts.
tie the knot last April, but COVID forced them to postpone. Their second attempt was scheduled for tomorrow.
I thought it was a joke, and then I cried.
Determined not to let COVID...
Man, look at the height difference between those two. That's huge. That's a huge height difference, isn't it? I guess she's always going to look up to him.
Crash their wedding again. They rushed to move their big day forward, getting married in an intimate ceremony this afternoon at Michelle's childhood home, hours before the 6 p.m. lockdown that will see weddings limited to 10 people and everyone required to wear a mask.
For us, it was never about anyone being able to come or the glamour of it. It was about getting married and...
She looks annoying.
The decision was made 30 minutes after the Premier's morning press conference. Family and friends transforming the Clayfield house in just a few short hours.
I'm glad we did it. This is us.
It looks pretty nice the way they've done it.
In my childhood home.
Across Greater Brisbane, several weddings have been brought forward, many more cancelled. Not the start anyone was expecting to a year many hoped would be nothing like the last.
But I always say to my couples that rest assured, no matter what happens, we will get you married. It might not be how you originally intended that day to play out, but one day it'll make a hell of a story to tell.
Because the most important part of a wedding is simply saying I do. Mackenzie Rawn, 7 News.
There you go, folks. All hell's breaking loose in Australia. How's your neck of the woods looking? How are you looking over there in the part of the country, the part of the planet, on this big flat disc that we find ourselves on? How are you going with COVID? I'm just wondering how long this lasts, really. How long does this last? How long do we deal with this for? Seems like it's going to be going on for a long, long time. COVID normal is the words they're using. COVID normal. Keep everybody expecting the worst, and that becomes normal, I think. I don't know, like a 3-day lockdown could potentially be a 30-day lockdown, could potentially be longer. We don't know. We just got to get used to it, don't we? I tell you what, there is no lockdown here, folks, and if you looked outside like I did earlier on the stream, there are heaps of people on the beach. The conditions are perfect. There's no wind, the tide's on the way out, swell's about 1.3 meters, little small, but there should be some big waves coming through if I wait long enough. I'm going to go out surfing. Thanks for being here on the stream. Charlotte Rose, thank you for the cut of meat, 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 cut of meat. Super chat, and I'll see you all on D Live later on. Cheers.